Right. Ready, it's 2:30 and we're here to introduce our new women's basketball head coach. And we'll start with Dr. Rhine, just giving us his opening thoughts about the search and about our conclusion to the search. Then we'll have Athletic Director Joel Smith come up and give his introduction. We'll have an opening statement from Coach Raymer then, and we'll open it up for questions. Dr. Rhine?
Thanks, Caleb. Well, first let me say thank you to everybody in the room that came out this afternoon to support Coach Raymer and her news conference this afternoon. I also want to say thank you to the search committee for all their hard work. It's been a long spring and summer for them, and you know, they got a lot of great work done, and so we have some finality to that now, and we're very pleased about that. Janet agreed to come on board as our head women's basketball coach, and we're very excited about having her on board. When I talked with Janet last week, the level of commitment was very clear to me. Her commitment to Chadron, her commitment to the program, her commitment to her athletes, and I think she completely understands her role as an educator, as a coach, but also as an educator. And so it's my great pleasure to introduce to you today our new women's head basketball coach, Janet Raymer.
Thank you.
Sure.
I feel like I should move out of the way.
No, you're fine. You get your own time, so that's good. I want to echo what Randy said. First of all, I want to thank him for all his support and their administration. These searches are always very difficult things for a lot of different reasons. In our case, I think one of the real challenges that we ran across was not that people weren't interested in our position, because there were over 140 some applicants for this position, but they had to be the right mix for what we needed to have here. And we found a lot of people out there that we really liked, and we actually offered some people an opportunity to take a look at this position, and they decided not to take it. And when we got to that point, we really got down to the matter of who wants to be here and who wants to be committed to what we're trying to get done. And I think that's where Janet has been through the whole process, a real trooper. And now she now has the opportunity to show us what she can do with this position. And I think we're going to have a great working relationship. And I'm looking forward to the passion that she has for Chadron State athletics and for her ability to jump out there and move our program forward. So, Janet, congratulations. It's good to have you here. And we're going to turn you over to the press. Okay.
Coach Raymer, just give us your starting thoughts here.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Rhine, and thank you, Joel, and thank you to the committee for selecting me and to give me this opportunity. I'm very excited to be here, as they mentioned, and I look to get the program to a competitive stage, and that's where we have to be in the RMAC. And I think to do that, I need to start looking a little bit more in our backyard for recruits. And that's where I'm started. It'll help to be the head coach to do that, because as an assistant for the last couple of months, it's difficult to get kids as an assistant. So I'm excited for that change. Happy to be here.
Sounds good. All right.
To say that.
We'll wait for that.
Don't shut your phones off.
All right. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So anybody have questions?
Janet, you've been pretty much kind of running the day-to-day ops in the process of looking for a new head coach, and I'm just curious that now that you've been named as the official head coach, what your first order of business is going to be, and maybe how things will change from what you've been already kind of doing.
Right now, I've still been recruiting for 2016, and that's my number one, is to finish up that recruiting. It's really late right now for us anyway. So I need to finish that up, and as soon as I can, and hopefully that's over this next week, possibly a week and a half. And at that point, I immediately turn into 2017 and 2018 recruiting. At some point, I'll also need to find an assistant coach. So those are two of my top priorities right now.
Do you have any leads or ideas on who might be a possible assistant or assistants for you?
Not yet. I do not.
Take us back to that first night where you got the call that you were going to be Chadron State head coach. What was going through your mind at that point?
Well, it was kind of a funny story. I never did tell Joel the whole story. I was coming back from Laramie from basketball camp. I had been recruiting, and the weather was bad. I was kind of trying to outrun a storm, and he called, and we got disconnected right away. And I was like, oh man, which way is he calling me for? And so he called me right back, and I was able to just pull over and talk to him for a couple minutes. And I was very excited about what he was calling me for. And so I immediately accepted. And then I actually had to call a few people to try to make my way home that night. All the power was out at the gas stations, starting in Lusk on home. So I was calling friends of friends to locate some gas to get me home. So I ended up stopping in Harrison at a friend of a friend and got some gas and made it home. But back to that, I was very excited. The thoughts through my head, I was thinking about all the things that I could do with the program. And I've been thinking that over the past few months anyway. But it all kind of became real that I could really do it and that I would be able to direct that.
Somebody else go ahead though. If they've got a question.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. I guess Mecca is leaving for sure, huh?
She sure is, yes.
And you lost 3 seniors. I figured out that about 2/3 of your scoring and 2/3 of your rebounding power from last year has gone. But are the other girls coming back, or will they all be eligible and will they be able to play? Or
Kayla Matthews won't be returning either.
wow.
So basically that is 5 starters. Erin Graham did a little bit of starting for us, just in the absence of some of the other players at times through injury and whatnot. We have a solid group coming back. Obviously they don't have a lot of game experience. We have 3 seniors that return. 2 of them have been here for this will be their 4th year. That's a good thing for us to be able to bring a kid back for the 4th year. And that's something that I look forward to doing, is to get kids here for 4 to 5 years. But as far as where we're at going into this season, it'll be tough. It's not going to be a cakewalk by any means, and we're going to have to work hard. And basically right now what I'm looking to do is to work really hard on the court and play smart so that we don't get blown out, you know, and give ourselves a chance to win. Because it's not, and we have great kids coming back, but you look at it and obviously we lost our last 5 starters, or our 5 starters. So you're looking basically to the bench and anyone we can bring in. And it's not that they're bench kids, but we have a long ways to go.
You said this morning when I talked to you briefly, I said something about it. I don't know, I think I was probably a little bit dreary about the thing, but you said, oh, it's not near as bad as I thought it was going to be, or something.
It's
and
not.
So yeah, apparently you've got some more recruits on the hook that may sign with you that'll help.
You know, we already have 4 kids that have signed, and every one of them has good potential to come on and play for us. And I plan to bring on maybe 2 or 3 more kids yet in the next week or 2, and that will help us to be competitive.
Right now,
Go ahead.
right now, while you're recruiting, what is your primary position that you're recruiting at right now?
The point guard. That's the number 1 right now that I'm looking at.
And a quick follow-up to Con, did you say Erin Graham is not returning? Or?
She is returning.
She is returning.
The one I mentioned was Kayla Matthews.
Is she eligible?
Kayla?
Kayla? No, I mean, Erin?
I expect Erin to be ready to play in August.
Good. She improved a lot last year.
She sure did. She came along really well, and you know, she's one of our best team players. She's in practice. She's just like an extension of the coach.
You had a couple of girls that one was ineligible last year and one was hurt. 2 Collins was hurt, and the gal from Rapids or from Western Nebraska Community College was ineligible. Are they on your roster right now?
I expect to have all 7. Yep.
That'll help.
Everyone that was on last year that was at least on the team, I expect to have eligible and ready to go.
Good.
That's the expectation. So.
Coach Raymer, you have a pretty special bond with the program. Obviously, you lettered 4 years here, and we've got a lot of just a big. Just in the last hour that the story's been out on the website, we've had about 6,000 people look at it, and lots of people make comments, and a lot of your former teammates and former players, alumni have been really pretty excited about this. Just talk about, we're going to put this this video online too in just about 30 minutes, so talk to them, or talk just about your bond to Chadron State Athletics and what it means to have so much support.
It's amazing. I guess I wasn't expecting it. Not that I wasn't, but it's a surprise to me, and it's very welcome. There's been a lot of good people that have gone through Chadron State, and I've gotten the pleasure to know a lot of them. And it's a little corny, but I like to bring it up. I started out as a ball girl, and so a lot of the alumni were like big sisters to me way back. And from that point on, I stayed in touch with the program, and since that time, I've had a lot of great teammates. I was actually here for 5 seasons as a player, and like I said, there's just a lot of good people that I've gone through, and I've gotten to stay in touch with a lot of them, and hopefully we can reconnect with some of the alumni and start getting them involved again with the program. Helping build.
Go ahead, Chris.
What have you thought about a style of play that you're planning on implementing this season with your program?
I really like man-to-man defense, and that's what I'd like to stay with. It takes a certain level of athleticism, and for the most part, I think we'll be able to do it. We'll have a little bit of zone in our back pocket as well if we need to. On our offensive end, I like a motion offense, but it needs to have structure. And so we'll have a couple different ones that we'll use. And then obviously we'll have, I guess maybe it's not obvious, but we'll have a few set plays as well for certain situations and different times when we need it. But the biggest thing that you'll see is we're going to work hard. There's not going to be a loose ball that we don't fight for. There won't be laziness. We won't walk on the court, that kind of thing. So when we step on the court, and the arms show up, you might get a loss that night, so hopefully we can get some of those.
Coach, what are the things you're selling recruits on about Chadron State, and what are you telling them why they should come play for you, for us, for the program?
It certainly was not myself, because I didn't know if I'd be here for sure. Of course I wanted to be, but with a new head coach always comes possibly a new assistant, and so when I brought recruits in, as in that position, I had to sell the college, and I really didn't find anything that I couldn't sell about it. The location is actually a benefit for us. I mean, we're in the middle of trees and hills and great people, and when I would have a kid come visit, everybody says hi, everybody helps us out, everybody's very nice. And so I was able to sell the people, I was able to sell the new facilities, and I was able to sell the fact that our administration has been backing us and that we have better travel, we have obviously better facilities, the scholarship level is coming up, all those things. So it was a kind of an easy sell for me, really.
The players that are coming in, were they excited about the possibility to really jump in and contribute right away, and that they could really make their mark on the program early as incoming freshmen position?
Yes.
And some of the transfers too.
Yep, of the 4, 2 were high school seniors, 2 were junior college, and they really liked it here. And obviously any kid that you bring in is going to want to play. So they were excited about that too. The low numbers actually benefited us in that.
How has the adjustment been from moving from assistant to head coach? It's only been a couple of days, but how's that adjustment been thus far?
It's mostly just sinking in still, really. I was doing a lot of the work, but I didn't have the pressure yet, and that'll still come with games and the expectations, but I guess a lot of it is attention. I've gotten a lot more attention in the last especially the last hour. And I feel that I'll have to check my Facebook pretty soon. But I guess the attention is really the biggest thing, and I think that the recruiting, you get a different reaction from kids sometimes when it's the head coach calling them versus the assistant. And I had a good reaction as an assistant, but I think kids will take it a little more seriously when I call as a head coach.
Coach, you talked about how you need to be competitive in the RMAC. What's the one or two key aspects of that for you that we need to?
We have to win. We have to act like champions from the very beginning. When they come in, the expectation is that nobody misses class, and there's a repercussion if you do. You know, and if you come late to practice, if you don't follow through with something, that's all a part of being a winner. And so those are just those are the little things that really matter. In addition to that, it's going to be a lot of hard work and a lot of teamwork and getting them to buy in to the team, and that one person's stats don't matter as much as the team win. And that's going to be part of, I guess, building the team chemistry and getting them to know a little bit more about each other than just maybe where they're from and if they have a sibling or not. It's going to be everything about that kid, plus do they like to drive? Are they going to drive? What's their best shot? What's their favorite shot? Really getting to know each other on the court, and that gives us, I guess, a leg up in getting them what they need to have to be successful.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Janet.
Thanks.